Spooky Lou Carbonbarker coming at you with another WrestleRoni. Today's another special one. Right before you, straight out of my neck of the woods, baby. Recently competing in Premier Wrestling League Mid-Atlantic, the Hollywood Vampire, Tyler Jaxx. How we doing, my man?
I'm doing good, amigos. Glad to be on here, man.
Glad to have you on, man. An up-and-coming talent, to say the least. How's life been for you lately?
Life's been good. I'm currently up a snowshoe, doing some work up here, and it's definitely cold up here, to say the very least.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, life's been good, man. Just chilling like a villain, I guess, so to speak.
Hell yeah. You just recently had one hell of a weekend, busy weekend for you. We had Saturday night at the Crossroads Mall. Sunday, PWL was in, where were they? Bluefield that Sunday night?
The Green Valley Skating Rink, I believe, is what it is, and I believe it's in Bluefield.
I think so. Two back-to-back shows, action-packed. I was blown away by the four-way you were in. Awesome match, awesome. Was it a four-way or three-way?
It was a four. It was, oh man, he changed his name, but he used to go by Mayhem. It was
Mm-hmm.
like it's Scumbag Noah. I don't remember his last name to save my life, but
Still mayhem to me.
yeah, still made him to me as well. But him, Tyler Osborne, who stole my name, but he's also my dad, so it's kind of a working thing. I don't know, but Tyler Osborne and Cyclops.
Okay, I definitely want to get dip back into Tyler Osborne. I'm very interested in the dynamic there. But man, y'all went out there and busted your ass for what I'll say. I'm saying it. Spooky Lou's saying it. That crowd there was a joke. Y'all just go there to sit and casually just watch wrestling and shit.
Yeah,
Terrible crowd, and y'all was busting your ass. That's not a knock on anybody. Chase Stevens couldn't get them riled up.
yeah.
Oh, go into that for me.
Well, back in the back, we were told, "Hey, it's gonna be you four. It's gonna be you four, and you guys gonna have 6 minutes." And I looked at that, and I'm pretty sure everybody else looked at that, and we were just like, you know what? We got 6 minutes to have a hell of a match, so we're gonna do whatever we want in that match. And as you said, we definitely did our best to make it one hell of a match in front of a not lackluster crowd. I mean, there's definitely people there, which is a good draw.
Hmm.
But they went into it that night. I don't know what happened.
They were sad or something, man. I don't know. But it definitely raised my respect for all four of you because you guys went balls out. We got high spots. It was awesome match. I'll have to get some footage up for folks to see for themselves. So kudos. Y'all still killed it. And keep in mind that camera's running. There's still a potential for millions to watch that shit on the internet, even when you got a lackluster crowd like that.
Very much so. Very
Uh,
much so. I always want to make sure, even if it's a crowd of 10 or a crowd of what happened Saturday, which was, I believe, 350, I always want to go out there and make at least one moment to where the crowd can go, okay, that guy's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Good. You're doing it fucking right then.
Thank
Saturday, that like you said, the house was slamming and jamming at the Crossroads
you.
Mall. Those shows have become quite the success. Did you have a match up Saturday?
I did not have a match where I was wrestling, so to speak, but there was a match, and it was Josh Williams, Huff Manley, and uh, Jason Kincaid, and
Mm-hmm.
I was managing Jason along with Johnny Youngblood, and my personal opinion, the best manager there ever has been, Easy E, my boy.
Okay.
And no, during that match, Jason looked at me and he said, "Get in here," and I was like, "I already know what I'm doing. I'm gonna get thrown." And sure enough, picked me up for a gorilla press and just threw me out onto Josh Williams and Huff Manley. And yeah, that crown bottle I brought out there definitely helped the impact of that.
I tell you what, that match was a banger too. I recently just put that out on my channel. As a new series we're starting up Saturday night. Saturday night the show. That's what I called it for now. And
Yeah,
that match is in there. You getting thrown into the front rows in there. Fun match. Awesome. Looks like PWL killed it again this weekend.
oh
Let's
yeah.
dip back to Tyler Osborne while it's still fresh in my head. You say he stole your name, but that's dad. That's interesting to me. Do tell, sir.
Well, the dynamic of it is, um, she's not really my sister, but whenever I first moved up to West Virginia, um, Kobe Max was the first person I ever met, and she's pretty much like a sister to me. And she's right now we engaged to Tyler Osborne, so he's kind of my brother-in-law. But
Okay.
at the same time, like he'll come backstage and he'll be like, "Hey, Dad," and they'll go, "Hey, Dad." So I'm his dad. He's my dad. He's my brother-in-law. I'm his brother-in-law. It's a interesting dynamic to say the very least.
Because when you said that, I was like, man, he looks like a fairly young dude. You're a young dude. I'm not sure. I was wondering if he helped train you or what, but just everybody's dad backstage, huh?
Oh yeah, but he did in a sense train me because he was at the first school I ever trained at, which was House of Rage. Him, Jinsey, um, Sean Baker, Dante Williams, Jack Sharp, like they all helped me out whenever I first started. And then that school went from House of Rage, they got shut down sadly, to me working with a company called Appalachian Championship Wrestling. They had a training system, and it was Chris Cannon and Zane Kane for a little bit before he got injured. Raw Talent was also helping me out backstage as well.
Okay.
And then after a little bit, I met Jason Kincaid at a show, and he said, "Hey, if you ever want to come up to my school, come up." And I was like, "I would be more than honored." And pretty much, Jason is a father figure to me. He's such a good person.
Good. I'm glad you brought him up. I always go on about Jace Kincaid on this show. We can talk about him forever. The dude, I love it. His name's the gift, and I say it all the time. The dude he has been a gift to pro wrestling, especially the indies in our area. His ring work, what he's doing for young folks like you. We could sing his praises all day. But what's Jason Kincaid done for you personally?
Like I said, he kind of showed me a different way of wrestling in a sense, and he also, before every show, he always says, "Hey, can I try something with you?" And I'll get in the ring with him, and we'll just f around for a good while. And he was actually my first match, Jason Kincaid, and it was at Premier Wrestling League, Mid Atlantic. It's a very long name to remember.
Mm,
But PWO, he was my first match, and
really?
yeah, the crowd was kind of the same as it was Sunday, a little bit less people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Kind of the same thing. We kind of just said, all right, even though there's not that many people out here, it's my first match. We're gonna make sure everybody's going, oh wow, this kid's good, and going, oh wow, Kincaid is the gift. And he was also my first match in North Carolina. It was at a company called Ring Wars Carolina,
Okay.
and it was a charity event. And Jonathan Darwin, who is a commentator, like interviewer, all these kind of things, he brought me and him over there, and it was a great show, to say the very least. I loved like how the arena was kind of smaller in a sense. Like we had a small kind of working, not working, kind of working area,
Mm-hmm.
but the crowd kind of was super into it, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That and that's good. First match working Jason Kincaid, you know you're in good hands. Was the nerves getting to you before you went in there? Is there any advice he gave you before the match, or anything you can share about that?
He calmed me down a whole bunch because he was like, if you forget anything, just I'm over here, he's over there. Like he'll just say like, hey, this. I'm like, okay, bet. And I always get a little nervous before every match, and I always kind of manifest like I always say like easy day, easy day, easy day, to where it's me. I know I can do what I need to do out there, and I'm gonna go out and show it I can do it out there. So in a sense, yeah, just him definitely saying a few things backstage was very helpful for my first match.
Hell yeah. And to see the change in him, man. I watched this guy back in 2004 down here in Fairmont come out with these long braids, and he was the cock of the walk in his leather jacket, and the way he would talk to people and stuff. If you could have saw Jace Kincaid back then, He's still killing it, but just a whole different character. So that's cool that you hooked up with the right folks.
Oh
Who's
yeah,
some other folks that deserve some credit?
everybody on the indie up here, honestly, like everybody up here busts their ass that I've seen. Like Josh Williams, my
He
God,
impressed me.
his ass. Like I said before, Tyler Osborne, Zane Kane, he's been doing this for about 12 years, I want to say. And
Okay.
he's killing it. Just everybody, Gen Z, Willie Storm, Logan
Yep.
Taylor, who I believe you had on the podcast before.
Yeah. Oh
But
man, that's our tag champ right there, Logan Taylor. He's been killing it here in RSW. Wait till you see some footage coming out of Parma, coming very soon. Logan Taylor can definitely fuck some folks up if he wants to.
very
So,
much so, and I one day definitely want to come up to like RSW. I've been meaning to try to come up there for the longest time now.
I hope you do. Hope you do. We're running a lot more states and everything, so there's a lot more shows opening up. We got a light heavyweight tournament coming up. Yeah, definitely, you'd be. Yeah, there you go. Right. Even if you can't make the tournament, there's another belt to go after in the area, right?
RSW, hi, how's it going? I would like to come up for that belt.
Yeah, man, we're bringing it back. I'll have to get in
Yeah.
some ears, get Tyler Jaxx in RSW. I don't know how much you saw the product, but who would you like to face on the RSW roster?
We were talking about him before the podcast even started, but Billy Knox
Yeah,
is up there. He's such a interesting character, and I definitely want to go up and get in the ring with him. Loey Taylor, obviously, is definitely another one, but I don't really know much off the top of my head, to be honest. Like, I'm still new to like the West Virginia scene,
mm-hmm.
all the surrounding areas. Even though I've been doing it for almost 2 years, I still need to like catch up on who everybody is up here
I
because it
get it.
is a very much long list.
I get it. I find a new Fed every day still. They're everywhere, and I mean everything's worth a look. Not, I finally did find something the other day where I was like, wow, I finally found something that I think is terrible, but I won't get into that. But 9 times out of 10, you give these little companies a look, and you're going to be surprised with what you're going to find. Especially Ohio's killing it right now.
Yep.
Pennsylvania's killing it. There's a lot of great places.
I put out a Facebook post saying that I want to work up in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the place where I got to see my first metal concert, which right now I'm wearing one of the T-shirts, Bad Omens.
Hell
They
yeah.
they were one of my favorite bands, and my roommate at the time said, "Hey, you want to come up for this concert?" And I said, "Fuck yes,
Right.
I you come up." And I want to bring up something real quick. You said something about Kincaid where you saw him in 2004. I
Mm-hmm.
was I was 1 year old. I
Right?
was 1 year old back then. I was born in 2003, so now I'm feeling younger than I've ever felt.
Yeah, right.
It's not a good thing for me because I'm like, man, why?
Hey, it's a good thing, man. From what I've saw about our scene, our West Virginia scene, it is so much better you coming into it now than some of the shit you would have sludged through before. Right now is a golden opportunity for somebody like yourself.
Yeah, and I've definitely worked with a few interesting people to say the very least up here.
Yeah, you're meeting some characters.
Oh man, shout out to well, I can't even remember his name now. Gray beard, always wears a bandana. It's on the tip of my finger. Oh man, something.
You say gray beard and bandana, and we're talking pro wrestling. I got a lot of suspects, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he says he's been doing it for a very long time, for what I can remember. Ah man, I can't remember his name now from the top of my head. And it was a tag team match, and I had to work with him, and it was me and him versus Jack Sharp and Mayhem, and it was at an ICS show.
Okay.
Man, I gotta look back at the catalogs on that one.
ICS is drawing my attention. I watch a lot of their stuff. Well, what's some memories you can share from that company? What's the experience like at ICS?
ICS is honestly like one of my favorite companies to work for. Um, they brought me in one show, and it was me against Mickey Fope.
Hmm.
And the original plan, we're gonna just talk shoe here for a second, is so with the original plan whenever I walked in was, hey, you're gonna go over. I was like, oh, okay, wow, my first win.
Mm-hmm.
And the same guy who I was talking about before, gray beard with bandana, he was like, nah, we're gonna put Mickey over just because we don't know if he's ever gonna come back. And then
Fair
fast forward,
enough.
the next show is me tagging with the dude against, like I said, Jack Sharp and Mayhem.
Okay.
I remember I saw that and I was like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. But ICS also holds a special place to me because that was when I got my first win. It was me and Scott Anderson, and I remember it was he got me up in the choke, laid back, and then I did a back roll to where I got him pinned down, and then I got my first win.
There you go. Okay. How'd that
Yeah.
feel? I'm sure that was a that you celebrate that one.
Oh yeah. I, did. I in my heart I did. I went back whenever I was walking back. Kobe Max was in the crowd, and she reached her arms out and gave me a big hug, and I was like, this is a good choice of mine I made joining wrestling."
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can make you feel some emotions. There's some magic in that shit. There definitely is.
Oh
That
yeah.
kind of
And,
it
and
kind of brings up a good subject. It's getting that start. You got to be respectful. You got to pay your dues. You got to earn your keep. You got to earn your spot. So you're going to have to take some L's. And I'm sure everybody, they want to start moving. They want to start moving up the card. What's that frustration like just starting out? But at the same time, that's the way it is.
for me, it wasn't really me losing that frustrated me. It was kind of me trying to work every weekend I could, and it was in the beginning it was definitely frustrating because I couldn't really like I wasn't really trained enough to get out and have a match, and I was kind of frustrated because I was like, man, I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready. And
Mm-hmm.
then, oh, excuse me. As time went on, I kind of looked back and I was like, okay, I wasn't ready back then. I'm definitely better than I was back then. It's a good thing that I was kind of holding out for my first match. And yeah, at the beginning, it was kind of just me wanting to just get out there and just tear it up, honestly.
Right. And it sounds like you've been working. What shows we got to look ahead to?
Um, we mentioned them earlier, ICS. February 25th, they're going to have a show in Bell, and it is the kind of retirement show for Smokey C. He's,
Oh shit.
yeah,
Okay.
he's retiring over there, and I might come by, I don't know. But I believe they're also doing shows March 18th and April 9th, from what I can remember. And honestly, I don't know if I don't know if there's any more coming up. So far, I just have those two set up for this year.
Cool. I'm glad that Smokey C, man, that's another one. Talk about me going to indie shows and people I liked. Smokey C was my dude. If I could find a way to make it to his retirement match, I'm I'm glad he's getting out and going to enjoy life. But man, that dude. Have you saw much of Smokey C's work?
I remember the first ICS show was that he did a match with Zane Kane, and I looked and I was like, how in the hell? I thought he was like maybe 40 something, and I was like, how the hell is this guy doing it? And let alone he is like 30 some years old, and I was like, okay, that makes more sense. But at the same time, I looked and I was like, man, this dude's doing stuff that I can't do right now.
Right. Man, the dude, I tell you, one of my special memories I have, the first ever barbed wire cage match in West Virginia history at Clarksburg Fire Department, fire department outside of Clarksburg. And it
Makes
was
sense.
him, and it was him and TJ Phillips. They built this feud for probably, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, big blow off matches, this cage. A lot of people there. Place was on fire. That was a fucking memory. He had that fucking crowd.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a match I want to do now that you mentioned it because I've been wanting to do a steel cage match, and I've grew up watching CZW, kind of like old Kevin Steen, Adam Cole, Leo
Mm-hmm.
Rush. One of my favorites, Masada.
Yeah.
Uh, I grew up watching them, and kind of got whenever you said that, I kind of got my blood, a little bit a little bit going to where I'm like, man, I want to do that now.
Yeah, so the barbed wire ain't a problem then. Go ahead and put the barbed wire on the cage. Okay, so you're
I,
up for that sort of thing.
as long as they pay me a little bit extra, as long as they pay a little extra.
Well, okay, fair enough. Let's be real for a minute though. What if I just started a no ring deathmatch company, and I'm going to pay your usual date, and it's like 5 minute drive away. You going to come to if it's a booking, and it's
I
deathmatch.
am down. I am down.
Oh shit! Sounds like, well, hell yeah, man. That opens up a world of opportunities. Friends of the
Yeah.
show Saturday Night Special, they dip into the deathmatch realm and they do their crazy. Deathmatch is wild nowadays. You know
Oh yeah.
that.
I was watching a oh my god, the guy, he was like BGW, no, BJDW something, BDJW.
Big
He's on,
Japan.
he has like a oh my god compilations that he always posts.
Okay.
And I was watching a compilation of like highlights from Effie versus Nick Gage, and
Mm-hmm.
it, and I always watch those stuff because I always look and I'm like, okay, what if I did this with this? Because I saw somebody do like a something like Tope, for example, and I in my head I have ADHD to where I'm like, okay, what if I can turn that to where I can do like a little turn in here and then do like a cutter out of a Tope or some shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that and I'm all for that, man. Like the way people still coming up with new spots in this day and age, you have to think outside the box, and it's got to get crazy. And I'm all for it, man. Fucking evolve the shit.
Very much so. I when I was coming up with a finish, because I have my I have a finish I made, and it's a you got a guy for what used to be known as the night, Bloody Sunday, but Finn Balor, Prince Devitt's old finish
Okay.
back in New Japan.
Hmm.
Get him up for that position. Guy lifts you up, and then you both go down for a face buster. I was always trying to come up with like new stuff to where I can say, "Hey, I made that move," and then somebody on TV is gonna see it and go, "I want to do that," and I'm gonna look and I'm gonna be like, "Motherfucker, you stole my shit."
Yeah. But in a way, that's sort of making it when you see your move on Dynamite or Raw or SmackDown, and
Oh
that
yeah,
that happens.
oh yeah. I'm not gonna be mad at it because I can look at that move and go, "Okay, that's a good enough move to where it's on TV."
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I wanted to touch upon that too. I ask all my guests or try to, what's the earliest memory? When can you remember falling in love with pro wrestling?
Um, the earliest memory I have is whenever my mom married my stepdad. He brought me up one day to West Virginia, and I was looking through some of his old stuff, and he had a most electrifying man in sports entertainment, The Rock 3 disc compilation DVD. And
Okay.
I watched that, and I was like, man, this is cool. And at the time, I was like maybe 7 or 8, and I looked and I was like, man, I wish the stuff was around. And then one day before going to church, I saw Monday Night Raw, and it was whenever it was the feud with Brock Lesnar and John Cena.
Okay.
Paul Heyman got locked into a room. Great Khali opened up the door. Paul Heyman said, "I have Brock Lesnar on the phone." Got pushed Paul Heyman back in, and Great Khali said, "Hello, hello." But what really got me in love with wrestling was New Japan. That
Yeah.
that man, like watching Ricochet and Will Ospreay at the New Japan Super Junior tournament.
Yeah.
Man, that got me, and that's my main goal. Honestly, is to be in New Japan. Go to Japan, work for DDT. The companies up there, but like the culture and the wrestling up in Japan is so interesting to me, and I love it.
Same here. I'm a huge New Japan guy. I watch all kinds of random indies from Japan. Recently, a friend of the show, Rob Stardom, just did his vlog where he did his tour of Japan. Highly recommend checking that out if you're about the culture and stuff. It shows how the sponsors take them out to drink and them
Yeah.
partying after the shows. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Japan myself. See,
Heck
back
yeah.
in my day, we was tape trading Japan tapes.
I remember having tapes back when I was a kid, but I never found wrestling tapes. I always found like um it was like Mike and the Santa Claus movie was the two I had growing up, and I watched them all the time, like religiously.
And you make me feel old. You're talking about the first time you saw wrestling was, I remember having the 3 disc set that you're talking about The
Yeah,
Rock. And that just seems like yesterday to me. Like, I found wrestling on television. The Beverly Brothers beating up Jim the Anvil Neidhart's how I found pro wrestling on Superstars Saturday
I
morning.
I know who Neidhart is.
Yeah, the Beverly Brothers are not missing much, I promise you. I think it
um,
was Mean Mike Enos and somebody else. Oh my.
the earliest here I can make you feel a little bit older. The earliest I always say this. The earliest movie I can remember was Kangaroo Jack.
Daggone. Yeah, I was out of high school.
Oh man, yeah.
Have you run it? And then talking about, oh, let's get this out there. Might as well get a little controversial. I'm an old timer, but I'm open to new ideas. Have you ran into those old timers yet?
I've definitely ran into a few people kind of that have an older mindset, and I won't mention his name, but I remember there was a seminar. I couldn't go to it, but to my wrestling friends, or maybe one. I know one in particular did, and the old timer found him for having like custom knee pads and like custom gear, and he was like, "You need to get better gear. You need to get custom gear." And my friend told him like, "This is custom gear," and he got clowned because he was wearing not knee pads, kick pads.
Okay.
I don't know why, honestly. But there's another incident where it's a practice match, and during that we were it was a 3-way. It was me and two other people, and we were on the outside for a little bit because I did a sui. We were outside for a sec, and afterwards, the teacher who was teaching asked the ref, "Why didn't you count?" And he was saying that there should be countouts in a 3-way dance, and I was like, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
I've never heard somebody who says that there should be countouts in a 3-man match. Like
Yeah.
the from what I can remember, it said no DQ, no countout type of thing,
Uh
and I'm like, what? What is this?
huh. So you haven't run anything too terrible yet. And
Dude,
whenever,
tell me.
whenever I say old timers, I'm all for protecting the business. This has obviously worked, and you're going to protect what you've built, and I'm all for that, and I like that. But then there's folks like you're talking about just picking because you're younger. They're not trying to be constructive. They're just fucking, hey, I'm here, so I'm going to shit on you. So you'll,
Yeah.
that's something to look forward to. It'll come down the line eventually. Watch out for Jeff Paul. He's a dickhead. You know.
Oh man.
Have you had any
I'll
run-ins with that guy?
uh, I'll give him credit. He's definitely, he helped me out getting to Tennessee for the first time, and man, there's a North Carolina. There's a North Carolina show that it was just me and Jeff Paul, but no, he can be a dick. He can be a dick. But like I said, I'll give him credit where credit is due. He's always trying to look out. From what I can see, whenever he talks to me, he's always trying to look out for me. So,
Nah, he's a good dude. I gotta bust his balls. We won't
oh,
bust him
yeah,
too
yeah.
bad, but
He needs to get his Jake Paul ego down a little bit.
for sure, he needs to get himself in check. Oh, enough on him, that fucking guy. My goodness. You mentioned you headed out to Tennessee. That's quite the trip. How'd that go for you?
It went good. It was rated R wrestling.
Okay.
I did a battle royal, and that was it was a battle royal. Easy stuff happens, and yeah, I mean, simple match. Got to the final four. Was eliminated, sadly, but from what I remember, that show was a good show. I got to meet quite a few people down there who were super nice, super generous. And then I also got to meet a guy. Well, not me because I met him at Ring Wars Carolina, but I got to see him again right before we had a match, and it was James Anthony.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I got to talk to him for a little bit, both Ring Wars and Rated R, and then fast forward to Elevation Pro Wrestling down in North Carolina, and I debuted there against James Anthony, and that was my first win in North Carolina. It was
Hell
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we're getting shit done. I'm asking everybody, 2023, what would you like to accomplish before the year's over? Is there any goals, or where would you like to be by this time next year?
I definitely want to win a championship. That's definitely, a big priority for me is to show that I'm worth enough to where our company can say, okay, we want to put the title on this guy. Um, man, I definitely want to work King Kid again.
Right.
Even if, we're a tag team or even if, we're like against each other in one company, not in another, I love working with him. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people can say that he is such a talent.
Oh,
Uh,
for sure.
I want to have I want to have a singles match with old Willie Storm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
Willie Storm, Gen Z, and we were putting him over earlier. Josh Williams, such a good talent.
No doubt. Yeah, he impressed the shit out of me in that three-way match, and he can go in the ring and run his mouth. I'm always a fan of a shit-talking bad guy, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure, that'd be a banger. And those are attainable goals. That could very well happen by
very
this year. We're gonna get you to RSW one-on-one with Billy Knox in some sort of death match.
man, that's gonna be a hell of a match.
The crazy fucker will do it. He recently had a crazy dog collar match with Mad Dog Myers, but it's
I
for
think
another day.
I think I saw like the graphics for that match.
Yeah, pretty crazy match, pretty bloody affair. So, and you mentioned earlier you're not opposed to that. You're, and I'll give you, you're a go getter, man. Like I made a post about something about podcast, and boom, you was on it. So,
I've been wanting to do a podcast like for the longest time. I listen to like Talk is Jericho, Renee Bouquet's podcast.
mm-hmm.
I I listen to anything honestly, just because podcasts usually help me like calm my mind, and then they help me somehow, some way. They help me whenever I'm working out, like in the gym. I can just listen to a podcast and just crack out a new PR.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, it makes sense. Me,
Yeah.
I always like listen to a little bit of Talk is Jericho. I listened to a few episodes. I've been listening to Kurt Angle's show a little bit more recently, but I really wasn't too much of a podcast guy, so I still don't really know what I'm doing with this podcast. But you
From
get
what I can tell,
wrestlers on here and talk.
great job. You definitely do a good job, man.
I appreciate it, man. We're trying. It's all about letting folks know about independent talent like yourself, good
Thank you.
folks in the business doing good things. Why not, have a spotlight? If we can have dark side of the ring, which is great, why not have the opposite and show the good folks and the good things that's happening in wrestling? What's
All right.
some of the you can share with my audience? What's some of the good things you saw in wrestling?
Just how people are family. Like outside in the ring, there will be, outside in that ring, people will hit each other, slam each other, hit each other with weapons, all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, everybody backstage is family. And I've never had such an aura of like family in my life until I started wrestling. And then everybody's trying to look out for each other, even Jeff Paul sometimes. But everybody backstage is always going to look out for each other, give each other tips, just just to make each other better. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that all of us look like a golden star at the end of the day.
You hit the nail on the head, man. That's a good part. And I've had folks on here talk about shitty locker rooms they've been in. My experience so far, I've met a lot of good, welcoming folks. I think we're blessed by cool folks in our area right
Uh,
now.
and I've definitely been in a shitty locker room.
Oh yeah, you've been in a shitty locker room. Well, you don't have to name
uh,
names, but try to tell us about the experience.
oh, Christ Almighty.
You said it. You threw it out there.
Oh yeah, it was the one show that I went to in North Carolina with Jeff Paul, and it was either EECW or ECCW. Either way, that it was the promoter. He was no. I would I would not want to deal with him ever again because he had a charity show for his wife with cancer,
Uh-oh.
and he never trained a day in his life. He went out there, did a street fight with a wrestler with cerebral palsy,
Oh,
to where the guy was the heel, and I was like, man, that doesn't make sense to me, but what a floaty boat. Did that street match. I was in the battle royal after the intermission,
mm,
and I was cutting a promo, and I look up, and let alone there's the promoter in the ring, and he starts chasing after me, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. I get
uh,
in the ring, match starts, I do my stuff. I'm like, I'm getting out of here. So I get thrown over, and then I'm watching it in the back, and he's part of the final three.
uh,
You might have seen this clip running around, but he gets two people over on the apron. He starts backing up, pulling up his pants. He goes, they throw him over, and then, like I said, he's never trained in a day in his life. So he bumps like the back of his shoulder, like upper neck,
I
all over.
have seen this.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. He bumped on the apron, and everybody was like, "Oh."
Mm-hmm.
But the he was fine, honestly. Like I went out there and he was smiling, wiggling his toes. Somebody on the mic went out and was like, "You okay?" And he was like, "Yeah." And like I said, it was a charity show, so nobody paid. I don't think anybody paid to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But he got the ambulance called on him. They had a raffling where it was $10 a raffle. I think somebody spent like $50 on that.
Mm-hmm.
No refunds and nothing. Show ended right then and there, and just no.
So the show got canceled because he took a bump?
Yeah, pretty much. And I guess he just didn't want to go on and finish off the show because people paid like, and they didn't get the money back. Which I looked and I was like, you just can't. You just had three matches in the battle royal, and you guys aren't gonna give them the money back, even though there's like two or three other matches afterwards. Like,
And you said this dude already had a street fight, so now he decided he was going to win a battle royal too?
I don't even know if he was supposed to be in the battle royal. To be honest, I don't know. Uh, I stuff happened after the fact, but I'm not gonna get into that. But no, I would not recommend that ever.
It
Like,
doesn't sound like it, but hey, man, I almost said good for that guy, but no, fuck that guy. But
honestly,
he took his and when you said it was for his wife with cancer, you kind
she
of
did.
did your thing. You don't think the wife had cancer either?
No, she didn't. She went on Facebook Live and said she didn't. She said
Oh
she
shit!
did, and then doesn't have it anymore. And I'm like, really, really?
What a controversy.
I know, but no, 0 out of 10. And then the guy posted, he's there on my Facebook, but he posted he had like a vacation in Myrtle Beach, and I was this close to post commenting. So that's where the charity money went to.
Yeah, right. Wow,
Yeah,
scumbag.
yeah, yeah.
Not only took the money and ran, got himself over in the process.
Honestly, yeah. Had an
And
ambulance called on him. There was a riot, a full-on riot with like the woman who supposedly had cancer,
mm,
and her sisters trying to come backstage and try to fight all the wrestlers.
uh,
Like the entire police department was there. Like it was crazy.
wow. Okay, so you're living some experiences then.
Oh
Getting
yeah.
you're getting some shit for the book, baby.
I'm definitely gonna have a few stories if I ever make an autobiography to say that.
Hey man, you're just getting started. Lord knows what's down the pike. That's the fun
Oh,
part about it. Yeah, even if you think you know, it'll still fucking surprise you. Wrestling is crazy.
very, very much.
And like I say, you know you're blessed. The scene's doing good right now. Obviously, you're doing well. Is there any other independents you're watching right now that interest you in the U.S.?
GCW. is definitely one, just because I grew up on death matches, and Nick Gage, he's I would say it like a badass motherfucker.
Oh
On
yeah.
He is one of the most badass motherfuckers I have ever seen in my life. Um, AEW, obviously.
Mhm.
Uh, I've been getting more into WWE. I used
Yeah.
I, I told myself I was taking a break from it just because of how it was. Like it made no sense. But then the stuff with Vince happened, and with Triple H there, I'm getting more and more into it now.
It dawned on me last week, and I'll say this for the first time on WrestleRoni, for the first time since AEW came around, for the first time, I'm looking forward to WWE programming over AEW programming. And
Yeah.
that's never happened since AEW came around. And we got to give props to the bloodline like everybody else is.
Oh
That
yeah.
shit, Roman can say anything. It's fucking gold now. I hang on every word that dude says.
Yeah. I remember there's a clip going around today where he did a promo in Dusty's class where he was saying he's a billion bucks walking around, and look at him now. He's definitely lived up to his word.
And okay, since we're talking about Roman, when they were pushing him down my throat, I hated Roman. I was a big Shield guy, but Roman was the one I could do without. And now I'm on the train. For you, you were a little younger. How was the Roman Reigns experiment with you?
Kind of similar. He was the champion back then, like 2015, 2014, 2016, somewhere around then.
Mm-hmm.
He, like you said, getting pushed down our throats, and I was not into it. Honestly, I more was into like Seth, Bray, Hart, Brody Lee, God rest his soul, like
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. But Roman, no. And whenever Triple H came back and got the championship, I was like, now there you go.
Right. Yep. Uh huh.
Yep.
I was the same way.
Yep.
But once they started this bloodline stuff, when he came back after COVID, like it was during COVID, and I was like, okay, he's got a little bit of an edge now. And then with Paul Heyman, and now Sami Zayn's finally getting his due and everything, it's been good.
Long overdue. Long overdue for Sami Zayn. He back on the Indies, he was so good. Him and
Mm-hmm.
Kevin. And I'll watch matches of theirs from like older ROH, like the Ladder Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch like stuff from Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, which is another company I want to work for so bad.
Oh hell yeah!
But watching them go from being so good on the Indies to now showing on TV, like this is why we're here. Like that's awesome to me.
Yeah, for sure. He was the reason I started watching NXT. Somebody I worked with was like, "Yo, you seen Generico in NXT?" And I was like, "Generico ain't on NXT." He's like, "That's Sami Zayn, dude. That's Generico." I was like, "Oh shit!" And
Yep.
man, that and when he first started out, I mean, that first couple years in NXT, and then he debuts against Cena. There for a minute, they had him on the right track, and then they dropped the ball like they do.
I think he tore his shoulder or something doing his entrance for that
Yeah,
scene. Yep. And then they just dropped the ball. I was like, man, you
but
guys don't know what you're missing.
yep. But at the same time, we can go back and like you said, a guy like Sami Zayn that was just pure talent, that somebody wouldn't have been given a shot years ago. That shows that somebody your level could anybody they got the opportunity if the drive and the talent's there. You can be there. People chanting your name in the arena, biggest storyline of the year.
Oh yeah, I remember it was a distinct moment for me, and it was at ICS. It was at the Combat Cup, and it was the second round. I made it through the first round against Paparazzi, and second round it was me against Zayden Kane, which was a bucket list match of mine. And whenever we were both down, I remember hearing like my girlfriend and the crowd saying Tyler Jaxx, and that because I was like, okay, now I'm going. Now the adrenaline's rushing more than I've ever felt. I'm going now.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Good, and there'll be many more moments like that. Like say, good, and it's good you got that feeling, and there's no other feeling like it. Shit, you know.
Oh yeah. There's no drug that can compare to what you feel whenever you get in that ring.
For,
Honestly.
for sure, for sure. And hey, even on the other side of things, man, I tell you, in the past few years, wrestling's made my ass cry a few times, man.
Oh,
Don't get me started on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes can walk out and I start crying nowadays. Jesus Christ.
yeah, that promo he did after WrestleMania when he was talking about his dad, I was tearing up. I'll be honest.
The deal with Heyman. Did you see the deal with Heyman Monday
I
night?
I did. I saw the clips of the promo, and I was like, man, that because I grew up like that. I grew up broke. My mom wasn't the best mom. She was on a whole lot of stuff most of the time, so I was broke living in the house, but getting raised by my friends and getting raised by the school. And I related to that so much because he went from broke and all this kind of stuff, and then one opportunity, and then boom.
Yep. And that's what made me a big fan of his when he bet on himself. As soon as he left WWE, I watched him everywhere he went, from Evolve, New Japan, Impact. And if Cody was on the show and there was a way to watch it, I've watched every match, and I couldn't be happier for the dude. And like you said, the parallel with you and how it inspires you. I didn't have the greatest mother either, but it shows that if you have that drive and have that vision, you can. It don't matter the past. You can do whatever with the future.
Oh yeah, yeah. I told myself this 1,000 times. Like I'm gonna be the best I can be, even like as a wrestler, as a father. I'm not a father, but in the future, if I ever decide to become a father, I'm just gonna be the best father I can be, just to show my kid like there's good in life. Like this.
Exactly. Good way to look at it, and that's what, like I say, that's what the show's all about. That damn positive energy, man. It can work wonders.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I've almost kept you for an hour. We're rolling into the home stretch. Anything, the platform is yours. Anything you'd like to share with the listeners, the audience, any words of inspiration, tips on how to succeed, what wrestling means to you, whatever you need to get off your chest, the platform is yours. Let the folks know.
Honestly, for me, succeeding was just like you were saying earlier, betting on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
being you. Just bet on yourself because there's something for everybody up in this world. And to anybody who hasn't watched New Japan, like I highly recommend it. Like watch Kenta, Will Ospreay, Jay White, Tamatonga, uh, effing Hikaleo,
Yeah.
um, all these people. Watch the last Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh my God, it
Legit.
was so good.
Oh my
The whole
god.
card's good, but Osprey and Omega was just so good.
Oh yeah. The emotion in that match was just amazing.
And that's
And
another dude that I've watched come up from nothing, and to see
oh yeah,
him at Wrestle Kingdom and just, oh hell yeah.
yep. Watching him come up, watching Jay White come up from this kid from New Zealand all the way up to the leader of Bullet Club,
Mm-hmm.
doing amazing promos. Like it's insane. And
Yeah.
then Kenta as well, going from Hideo Itami, where they didn't really do anything besides like an Andre the Giant match, to wrestling Speedball Mike Bailey, who I'm so shocked, but he follows me on Instagram, and I'm like, why? I don't I don't know why, but that Speedball Mike Bailey is a dream match of mine, as well as like the wrestlers I've mentioned throughout this podcast. Like, I any bookers out there, okay, anybody out there, I've mentioned a whole bunch of wrestlers in this podcast, and I want to face any of them. Book them,
Book
book
it.
it,
Book
book
it.
it. Book it. Me and Pussy Drews, me and Speedball Mike Bailey, Gen Z, Willie Storm, Logan Taylor, Billy Knox, Josh Williams, Huff Manley, King Kate again. Book it.
Book it.
I promise I will not. None of us will disappoint.
Well, your boy Speedball has his hands full coming up soon with your boy Kota Ibushi. I know you're excited
Oh,
about this man being a free agent.
I'm so excited. Not Kenta. Kota Ibushi is what is such a effing talent.
Oh yeah, and a dude that fucking walks to the beat of his own drum, does it his way.
If he can have a 5-star match with a ragdoll, he can. He's amazing. Just
Yeah, That, and I hear like interviews and things I've read on Coda. The dude's very eccentric, does things his way, isn't one for a corporate structure. So I'm very curious to see what free agent Kota Ibushi does. He's starting up his own school. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
I want. Listen, another reason now to go to Japan for me is to learn from Coda.
No
I,
doubt.
I might not be able to understand half the things he says, but as if I get to get trained by Kota Ibushi, it's bucket list material, honestly.
For sure. And like I say, running his own school, doing it on his own, man. So, and he's coming to the States. So
Oh yeah.
we got Vikingos in the States now. That's another great one you can
Ooh.
work with.
Vikingo is amazing. I don't know how in the hell he does a reverse 450 into a poison rana, but somehow he does it. Um, Gringo Loco.
Yeah.
Oh man. If I can recommend any kind of indie wrestling to watch, Deadlock Pro Wrestling, the company down in North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
they're so good because the promoters, James Darnell, John Blood, and Tony Pizza Guy, all were YouTubers that I watched growing up, like from 9 to 10 years old, 8 years old, and now they have a whole company with people like Chance Riser, Patrick Scott, Bojack.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's they're like, if anything, I would highly recommend watching some of the matches, some of the shows. Like,
I've watched a couple shows because they got them behind a paywall. They're smart. I'll give them their due. I didn't
yep,
know it was started by some wrestling YouTubers. I knew that social media had something big to do with it, so I
oh,
learned something here.
oh yeah, no, they have matches on. They have like shows on YouTube,
Mm.
and yeah, no, I highly recommend watching them.
Yeah, Deadlock Pro. Like I say, anything I've seen's been good. The production's on point. They definitely know how to pick the roster.
Yep,
Yeah, I think Colby Carino was working for him too. I'm pretty
yep.
sure.
I remember watching Colby Carino versus Claw. I'm giant dude, mask, and I remember it was a either, I don't think it was a death match. I think it was just like a no DQ. But the guy started off the match by chokeslamming the ref, and he landed on his head, and I was like, oh. I did not miss that.
No doubt. DPW. MLW's got another show starting up. I'm happy that they're still succeeding. That's another one that I really think can
they
showcase the indies.
they have two wrestlers that I grew up watching and like backyard wrestling, and that is Casey Navarro and Jordan Oliver.
Okay.
My God, I feel like a proud dad. Honestly, I'm never met them in my life, but such good talent. Like going from backyard wrestling to now,
You.
Jordan Oliver's going doing GCW in Japan
Mm-hmm.
with Nick Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Navarro is a champion everywhere he goes. He's been a champion in Warriors wrestling. Like
Yep.
it's amazing.
And you used to watch them backyard wrestle on YouTube, huh?
There was a old YouTube channel called Grimm's Toy Show.
Oh, okay. They're still doing stuff.
Yeah. If they ever gave me the call, I'd 100% be down. Honestly, like I just want to go everywhere I can and show that I'm something to look at. I'm something that is a golden star in the making.
Fuck yeah, man. Good. And like I say, you got the go-getter attitude. You believe in yourself. You know you're talented. So the sky's the fucking limit. I believe in you. You got a fucking fan in Spooky Lou. I promise you that.
Thank you. And to any promoters out there, quick note: if I come out with a Jack Daniels bottle or a Crown bottle and it's red, it's Gatorade. I promise you, it's Gatorade. Don't get mad at me.
There you go. Hey, book him. Book the matches. Book Kota Ibushi against fucking Tyler Jaxx.
That
WrestleMania
is,
weekend.
that's a bucket list. If somebody said, "Hey, you're going to be against Kota Ibushi," I cry. Like
Yeah.
genuinely, I would cry.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? But never say never, man. Never say never. It's been another crazy episode of WrestleRoni. Again, spotlighting up and coming talent that's going to be all over your TVs, your computers, your devices. Thank you for joining me, Tyler Jaxx. How can the folks find you on the socials?
Instagram and Twitter is Jaxx_wrestling, JAXX. And you can find me on TikTok, same way, JAXX_wrestling. Facebook is just Tyler Jaxx. And yeah, just check it out if you are into social media, or if you're not, then just look around and maybe I'll be on a show, one show near you. Who knows?
Coming soon, by God. We'll
Oh,
let
yeah.
you know. We'll keep you posted on WrestleRoni when Tyler Jaxx is coming to your area. Get your ass out there, make some noise. In the meantime, keep it positive. Look out for each other. Don't take no shit, though. You
Nope.
know how we do it. Be
Never.
kind, rewind, all that good shit. I'm Spooky Lou. Go live your dreams. Tyler Jaxx is. It's a fucking good time, ain't it?
Very much. Thank you for
Hell
having
yeah.
me.
I thank you, buddy. I'm Spooky Lou. Go do something with your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a Pick 5 Scramble match, and it is for the HCW YouTube Television Championship. Introducing first, this is Stu. And his opponent, Tyler Jaxx! And his opponent, making his return to Huntington Championship Wrestling, representing the GPOS, this is Jack Shaw! And his opponent, being accompanied to the ring by the Doom Queen, Lucy Leviathan, this is Mickey And introducing the champion, being accompanied to the ring by the coach, Josh Vintage, from Psycho County, Ohio. He is the HCW YouTube Television Champion. This is Chuck Corona.
Pandemonium breaking loose, everyone. This is a scramble match for the Huntington Championship Wrestling YouTube television title. Oh, Mickey Doom taking it to steel. Airplane spin. Oh, neck breaker. Kick to the face. Sling blade. Oh, headbutt to the gut. Oh, what a bulldog. Oh, knee strike to the back. Chuck Chronic and Jack Sharp taking it to each other on the outside. Still joining in the fray. Now Mickey Doom. Oh, what's he going for? What a great athlete this kid is. Oh, springboard crossbody. What's Jack Sharp gonna do? Tope Suicida. Jaxx Sharp taking it to steal. What's Mickey Doom gonna do? Oh my gosh, what's he gonna do? Oh, diving crossbody! Oh my! In the words of Joey Styles, oh my gosh! Mickey Doom and Jaxx Sharp back in the ring. Up goes for a crossbody, but gets countered. Oh, tilt-a-whirl Uranagi. Clothesline ducks. Oh, it's ripcord lariat. Oh, kick to the stomach. Butterfly suplex. Shade to the late great Andre the Giant. Oh, diving code breaker. Oh, low blow. Uncalled for. Cutter. Chuck Chronic gives for the pin. 1, 2, 3.